you'll all come. This adventure started about a year ago when I was at a function at Giancarlo's for Angels of Awareness, Andrea Martinez's function. And I was introduced to a new friend of mine who's become a friend through the year, a guy named Tunney. I think you all know him. In the midst of our conversation, he told me that he had multiple sclerosis. And I said, gee, you know, I have 3 friends with multiple sclerosis, and I'd like to do something for them and for people in Western New York with the challenge. He goes, let's talk. I said, well, I have an organization I'm already with. The function is in November. I said, let's talk after that. So the event happened, December happened, January, February. We lost touch. In March, my friend Danielle Fox and I were talking. We started talking about friends that we both knew that had MS, and I said, let's do something about it. So we had a couple meetings together, and I thought, I met someone in August. His name was Tony Farrow. We lost touch. I went back on Facebook. I reintroduced myself. I said, please join Danielle and I in some meetings. So we showed up. We got excited. He said, by the way, I'm starting a foundation. Danielle and I said, great. So we don't have to worry about doing events for any other function. So he says to me and Danielle, where are we going to get a committee? I said, I'll get you 20 people in 3 days. And I did. And I want to call them up here because it's a group effort. It's not a one-person effort. This has been a group effort. We're all volunteers working for the same cause. And I want to call David Liska, Cassidy Curtis, Keely Perez, Van DiBernardo, Donna Littlefield, Lillian DeChellis-Carey, Rochelle Recchio, Tammy Recchio, Tamara Oliveri, Christopher Randall, Erica Kazmark, Scott Potadnik, Tina Mazzucchelli, Kelly Cotrera, Christy Caleb, Rachel Jordan, and my friend with all the last names, Dana Penafinto Tadaro Nanula, Sue Babarich, Danielle's here, Steve and Cleo, Kulatis, Kathy Kaminsky, Lisa Bridges, Teresa Riley. And not everyone's coming up, they're coming up slowly. Gina O'Neill, come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Change MS organization and foundation. Come on, Van. Where's Sue? Sue's here, okay. Change MS was created by, directed, and inspired by people with multiple sclerosis and those affected by MS. Our objective is to allocate all available resources, advocate, educate, and raise funds for needed research, services, and program development to provide a better understanding and future outlook for those living with MS, as well as to empower anyone who may be affected. We are a 100% volunteer-based organization, and all proceeds will go directly to our mission. We have total financial transparency. At every meeting, we will all know what we did, what we put out, and all the reasons why. We at Change MS want people to feel better, physically, mentally, and emotionally. We want to make your experience with MS a better, more uplifting, positive experience. Our vision is to be a go-to source and a funnel of information. I know that. Thank you. And now I'd like to call Senator Mark Rosani up to the microphone.
You can stand up there. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. And thank you. Good evening. Can I say hey-o? Good evening. You know, an event like this is something near and dear to my heart. I'm the youngest son of 6. My oldest brother has had MS for 25 years. And, I mean, my older brother, he's the rock of the family. You gotta understand, the rock of the family, where it never complains. The guy played fullback for Cardinal Doherty, running back for Cardinal Doherty, and rushed for the most yards at Cardinal Doherty. After that, he was diagnosed with MS. And he was left with not utilizing a leg, his right arm, and his speech. You know how difficult it is to see your brother, like, have that happen to you? When I ran for the Senate, there was not something that was on my mind. But as a senator, I have started the MS Alliance of the New York State legislators that bring funding back to Western New York, because Western New York, if you don't realize this, is the most MS diagnosed for not only children but adults in the state. And when I hear about this, that's what I focus on. So we started the MS Alliance of New York State legislators. We're bringing funding back here. We did 2 things recently. One, starting an MS foundation that led to pediatric associations diagnosed with children with MS. The second one recently is diagnosing adults with iPads when they're at their visits, and they type into the iPad what's going on with their lives. So you can have actually a sort of like chronological experience what's going on with the people. The bottom line is New York has failed. New York has failed MS patients. New York needs to step up the game. New York needs to step up the game to make sure that MS is a top priority to solve this disease, to find a cure. And I want to thank everyone who's here. It touches my heart, my family, my mom, my wife, my brothers, my sisters. They're all here in the corner. Because I'll tell you something, it's painful to see a brother, but you know what? It doesn't bother him. You know what I mean? Anybody that's MS, a relative, a family, or friend, doesn't bother him. Hey, I'm still the same person. And you know what? They are still the same person. That's my brother, and I will do anything I can to help him in my position and anybody else here going forward to fight the battle and put a cure to MS right now, today. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
At the Children's Research Center for Children with MS. And now I would like to call up to the podium
the man of the hour, the reason that most of us are here tonight, Tony Farrow. I'm very nervous if you can't tell, but a very special woman asked me to speak tonight, and that was his mother. So there's no way that I wouldn't find the courage to stand up here before you tonight for these guys. I know that she would want me to thank all of you for being here, for supporting Tony and the committee, and the efforts he's making to help so many people. She's crying already. And I know that she would want me to tell you how very proud she is of her son and the giving heart that he has. And she wanted me to speak to you a little bit about Tony's character, which is so easy for me because it's Tony. So what I did is I wrote down like 4 qualities that came to mind right away about when I think about Tony, and I'm going to share them with you. Will you stay with me? The first one is giving. So anyone who knows Tony knows that he has like the biggest heart. He really does. He loves so freely. He cares so much about people. He cares so much about his family, his friends. But he's actually the first one to step up and help a stranger. Many of the people that he's helping now, he never knew them. That's just his nature.
No, you're good, you're good.
And his mom was telling me a story about when he was little. I think he was 4 years old. And she was looking for him. And she found him outside helping a homeless man. So helping people is nothing new for Tony. This is just who he is, and he's always been that way. The second one is selfless. So by definition, a selfless person puts other people before themselves. But Tony takes it to a whole new level. And I was thinking about when he first sat me down and told me a few years ago that he was diagnosed with MS. And I started crying. I'm crying out. And he said in his teddy bear voice, he's like, no tears, no tears. So I pulled myself together for him, and I remember specifically like grabbing his arm and saying, okay, so what's the plan? What are we gonna do? And everything that came out of his mouth was about helping other people. Like everything that he learned, everything that he researched to do for himself, he just was interested in sharing it to help other people, and that's why we're here tonight. The third one is positivity. Just, he's got such a positive outlook about everything, but specifically about this. Just being around Tony, you just feel uplifted. In addition to living a healthy lifestyle and special diet and eating clean, his real message to everybody is that with a positive attitude, you can overcome anything. And he's a shining example of that. And finally, and this is from the lips of his mother, it's inner strength. Tony has amazing, amazing inner strength. I remember reading this quote that reminded me of Tony that said, "Strength does not come from winning all the time, from everything going your way. It's the struggles that make you find your strength. And when you face adversity," I love you. "When you face adversity and you decide not to surrender, that's when you find your strength." So there's 2 kinds of people in the world. I feel like when something bad happens, you can either be a victim to it, or like Tony and Van and Gina Grisanti's brother and a lot of my friends out here tonight, you could be victorious over it. And Tony is victorious over MS. And you know what? We're here to fucking celebrate. Put your hands together for Tony Farrow.
And I was afraid I was going to swear. Coming out tonight, thank you very much. I'm not standing up there, no, Van, I'm sorry. I did write some stuff down just to keep all my thoughts together. This was only a small idea not too long ago, and now it's like a big reality. And none of it's going to be possible without any of you guys here. We love you! I also going to start off with a quote that really stuck to me. Sometimes the bad things that happen in our lives put us directly onto the path of the best things that will ever happen to us. Yeah. I feel like I'm living that right now. With everyone here and everyone who is involved and has been involved, it's truly an amazing feel and experience. Information is the most valuable commodity in the world. The lack of information I got is what got all this started. We at Change MS want people to feel better physically, mentally, and emotionally. Michael stole my lines. We want to make everyone's experience with MS a better, more uplifting, positive experience. Our vision is to be the go-to source and funnel of information, utilizing all available resources and other organizations together to set people up on a proper path and really promote being proactive towards your symptoms. When I was diagnosed, I never felt so abandoned and alone with no one really to relate to. I couldn't help but ask the question, now what? Change MS was formed with those feelings in mind. The time of diagnosis is crucial to have a plan of attack in place and a support system to guide you through and not be left alone to fend for yourself. The anger and the sadness is turned into fuel and motivation. And the more I talked about it, the more people reached out, the more people with an MS would get a hold of me and say how inspired they were and how they felt the same way I did and wanted to help. They helped see there was a demand for my vision, and collectively we started something that can forever change MS. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Megan. Megan is here to speak for Women in Children's Hospital. She's part of the MS Society. Thank you guys. She's not going to get up there either. Hey, she did.
Thank you. Well, I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that, but I'll do my best. I just wanted to let you know what you're supporting tonight, and that's the Women in Children's Hospital Pediatric MS Center. It's one of 9 in the entire country, and people come from all over the world, and the states, to get treatment here because we know that Buffalo's the best. Everybody knows it. So it's such an important cause. People come from all over to get the support they need for neurologic care, rehab care, and outside of clinical treatments, they get case management, they get financial assistance, and they get so much to help with day-to-day lives. I just wanted to share a brief story. I work with Mary Karpinski, who's a social worker, and she called me a few weeks ago and she said, I have a family in Detroit. The little girl's been in the hospital 3 times since January. She needs to get to the center. So we were able to get the funding. We got her here. The little girl, I think of her all the time because she was 5. And I have a 5-year-old home. I'm sure that some of you know 5-year-olds. And when you think about a 5-year-old going through something like this, it's scary. But because of people like you doing events like this, we're able to support those families and get them the best treatment available. So thank you so much for participating. To everyone that organized, this is amazing. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. One more thing, the count of 3, shout out Change MS 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Change MS! Change MS! Change MS! Good night.